All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD Application and Website Development Program, and in particular, the AWD1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class, I've decided to go over this series of 50 ASP.NET MVC interview questions. All right, I've done this as a 5-part series. I've gone through the first 4 sections, and which brings us, as you'd guess, up to the last section here. And what is remote validation? Well, it says it's the process where we validate specific data, posting data to a server without posting the entire form. Okay, not really familiar with it, probably have done little to none with it. Now, in this last section that we'll cover here, there will be things I'll skip, like the first one, like exception filters. And there are things we've gone over already, like what are MVC helpers. That's okay. Helper methods, again, are used to render HTML in the view. They are designed, there are built-in methods that are designed to make your life easier. All right, if you want more, again, you can click on the hyperlink and you can get more information. Question 44, what's a controller? So 44, 45, and 46 are going to go over a controller, a model, and a view, I believe. The controller provides model data to the view. All right? It does more than that. The controller starts the process. A user is at their terminal. She or he keys in a URL or clicks a hyperlink for a URL or something else to kind of start the process. Then what happens is this stuff is sent to the ASP.NET MVC application, which figures out the appropriate controller to call. That controller, all right, typically, as needed, will call the associated model to get or do something with database or data store data. Once that data has been retrieved, manipulated, whatever by the model and sent back to the controller will figure out the associated view to call so that the data can be put into a format, typically HTML, that can be understood by the end user. All controller classes end up inheriting from controller. And as it says on the bottom of the page here, the controllers folder contains the controller classes that are responsible for handling user input and responses. MVC requires that the name of all controllers end with the word controller. If you want more, you can click right here. Next, what is the model part of MVC? Again, we've talked about this. The model represents the data, or what I like to call the data store. Typically, when you work with models, you're talking about a database, some kind of database, although it does not have to be. The model not only does not depend on the controller or the view, the model does not directly communicate with the view. To my knowledge, the only direct communication the model has is with one or more controllers. The MVC model, as it states here, contains all the application logic, that being the business logic, the validation logic, the data access logic, except pure view and controller logic. With MVC, models both hold application data and have the ability to manipulate that data. The models folder, as it says right here, contains the classes that represent the application model. And again, there is a hyperlink if you want more. So, what is the view? We talked about the the C and the M of MVC. So a view, as mentioned right here, and this is page 61 of this article that I broke into 66 pages. And as it says, a view is responsible for displaying all or a portion of data to the user. In simple terms, whatever we see on the output screen is a view. The views folder, as it says, stores the HTML files, which typically are .cs HTML files, that are related to the display of application data. The views folder contains one folder for each controller. We've already seen that. Again, if you want more, you can take a look right there. Question 47, what is attribute routing? Don't know enough about it to talk to you about it. Question 48, explain render section. Well, this is kind of the magic right here. Okay. And basically, when the system sees that, the way I look at it is it says, okay, go through and do your thing now. Render or present what I've asked you to present. Question 49. This should be something that we had back in the day. So this is a question. This is something that we went over in the AWD application and website development 1000 web development technologies class. Get. Remember with get the information is passed in the query string right up in the URL. Get is basically, if we look at CRUD, create, read, update, and delete, I associate get with the R part of CRUD, read. In other words, we're not going to be changing the data. We're just requesting something. Post, on the other hand, whereas get stores the data in the query string, so you wouldn't want to put data there for other people to see. You wouldn't want to put sensitive data there. Post, the data is more hidden inside of the body. And post basically is set up that at least conceivably you could create, update, or delete data. And as always, get and post calls, so there is a hyperlink. Finally, the last question that we have here, what's new in MVC 6? And talking to Mr. Smith, the reason that we have been teaching MVC 5 in here is most companies have not gone to MVC 6. It says here, in MVC 6, Microsoft removed the dependency of system.web.dll because it's so expensive that typically it consumes a lot of memory. There's one thing. I didn't write this article. So when you see all these typing errors, they're not for me. All right. The advantage of using the cloud-optimized framework is that we can include a copy of the Mono CLR, which is the Common Language Runtime, with the website. For the sake of one website, we do not need to upgrade the .NET version on the entire machine. MVC 6 is a part of ASP.NET 5 that has been designed for cloud-optimized applications. It's also known as MVC ASP.NET Core. All right. that pretty much is what I wanted to go over. You'll notice at the end here they've got more interview questions. I kept that out there, so if you want to take a look at that, cool. That's pretty much what I wanted to go over in here. So that'll be it for this article.